Hey guys, it's Core Ross and welcome to the 6 News Roundup. Today we're running up all the Rainbow Six News over the last week or so. So the first is a hotfix which is scheduled for September 20th. This is going to address a bunch of different issues. First of all, the operator glitching on the main menu. So this doesn't actually affect gameplay, but they'll be fixing that. There's also an error when opening Bravo packs that actually brings up a menu and wants to convert your Bravo packs to something else, but it's not like fully fledged and there's still like filler text and stuff there, and it doesn't do anything. And then your packs disappear for a while. So they're going to be fixing that. I'm actually curious to see what the real thing is eventually. I'm assuming that might be like a next season thing or something. Maybe you can convert your Bravo packs into something, but I don't know what. We've also got some various audio issues. That's basically every single patch of Rainbow Six Siege. And then we've got 2 additional updates, but these are not for the hotfix. These are actually things that are broken, but they're not going to be able to fix yet. We'll probably have to wait for the 0.1 patch. So we've got some freezing and FPS issues, and they say this is a high priority and it is still under investigation. And then they say more fixes are planned and they will continue to provide updates. Basically, that's their job. So not a surprise bullet point there. For me, at the beginning of a season, I always wait for the 0.1 patch to come out before I actually start to play ranked. So I think at looking at some of this stuff and the hotfix coming, early next week, I imagine we're still 2 weeks or more away from a 0.1 patch to this season. Anyway, moving on to the next subject, we've got something about cosmetics. And Kudos put up a tweet here. Good YouTuber, if you want to go check him out. Does a lot of Rainbow Six news. Very much worth checking out. And he put up a bunch of updates from the Kickstarter about the board game. So the actual board game, it's not going to be, I think, arriving to the backers of the Kickstarter until like either the end of this year or next year. And the Kickstarter itself ended last year. I did a whole video on it at the time the Kickstarter was up. And one of the things you could get was expansions that included cosmetic skins. Well, there's been some interesting developments here because they are effectively the rarest skins in the game because you can only get them if you were a Kickstarter of this board game and you were on the very high tiers of it as well. And I've also seen a lot of people say, why would they spend so much money on just cosmetics? But actually they got the board game, plus for every cosmetic they get an expansion pack, so they actually do get physical stuff as well. And I think at this point I'm actually a bit sad that I didn't back it originally. Anyway, we got these communications that are on the Kickstarter, and apparently there's been some kind of miscommunication with Ubisoft and Mythic Games, who are making the actual board game. As it appears, Ubisoft is under the impression that they should be able to sell it in the in-game store. So these exclusive items, which are right now the rarest items in the game, might just end up being on the store. And I think most likely that's just an accountant going, oh look, these are really rare, that makes them really expensive, why don't we put them on the store? Which then of course just makes them the same as every other cosmetic. So we'll see what happens as this is still being communicated between Mythic Games and Ubisoft. And if you don't know how it works as well with licensed content, Ubisoft has nothing to do with it other than stuff you can buy on the Ubisoft store. But when it comes to other official merchandise, in order to create the official merchandise, you have to pay for every item you sell 30% back to Ubisoft, and there's obviously some rules and stuff that go with it. Now, it's going to be as well a bit hard if Ubisoft pushes back, because although these concepts were originally designed by Mythic Games for these characters, the problem is the actual Ubisoft artists are the ones who then put that into the game as the actual game models and designed them. So it's not like Mythic Games can just say that they did all the work or they have all the copyright, because in reality Ubisoft had to do a big chunk of the work in order to actually get them into the games, potentially just for a few people that backed the Kickstarter. So we'll see how that goes. I hope they keep the actual skins very exclusive, because to me that just makes it a bit cooler. Moving on to the next subject, we have an update on bans and cheating. So first up, we've got this graph which is BattlEye and data bans. And we can see that BattlEye bans are in orange and BattlEye and data bans are in white. I don't actually know why there's one that's combining both. That just seems weird way of putting it in a graph. But obviously BattlEye is most of the bans, and then the data bans add a little bit on top of that. They also showed us some of the different cheats they've been able to completely stop. So various instant kill cheats, various infinite ammo cheats, teleportation hacks, self-revive hacks, no clipping cheat, frenzy cheat, and various other cheats. I think a lot of them were also in the last update as well. So I'm not sure how new and relevant that information is. And then we have a new reporting disconnected players. Now this is not reporting players for disconnecting. This is if you're playing unranked and ranked, one of your players is being toxic and then decides to quit the game, then you still see them on the scoreboard, so you can go in, click on them and report them for griefing or whatever. And that means you still have the ability to report a player even if they've done something bad and then left the game. So it's not about actually disconnecting, but once they have disconnected, you still have the ability to actually report them in that game. Because of course, ranked and unranked, they don't get replaced by a new player. So it just keeps their name there, so you can still click on it and report them if you wish. And they also reminded us that we can now report in-match replay. So if we're watching back a match and we see that someone's blatantly cheating, we can then report them within the actual replay. We've also got details on how to report players with actual game clips. And this seems to be getting taken far more seriously, because manual bans by Ubisoft used to be few and far between, whereas now they appear to be happening every single day. And that means they've probably hired people that are just doing manual bans. So they have a list here of what you need to send in. So first of all, clear video or photo evidence. Obviously a video clip is best. And then the offender's username or their user ID. So if they're using streamer mode, just the ID that it has on screen, along with the match ID and the date and time of the incident. Now, if you bring up the scoreboard, you will see the match ID there. So just basically when you're recording a clip of someone who's cheated, make sure you bring up the scoreboard at least one point during that so that it is very visible. The only thing is, they didn't actually say where to send it, which is kind of important. So maybe Ubisoft support on Twitter? I'm not entirely sure. And then they've got a post reiterating on reverse friendly fire, but this one a little bit more into the reputation side of the penalty update. So this puts reverse friendly fire on automatically if your team killed a lot. Last season it was introduced and it was kind of lax on the actual penalty so that you would kind of get used to it. Now it is far more strict on the penalty that you'll get. And with the full launch of the reputation system next season, this could damage your reputation status if you're reversing firing a lot, and obviously stop you getting those sweet rewards for being a nice player. And now let's jump back to cosmetics. We've got some new esports bundles. These are the white, black and gold outfits. So we've got Cav, Sledge, Ash and Rook. And we've also got the artist who brought these into the game. He posted a bunch of pictures and I just love seeing this stuff in like the proper high res that they actually make it in. And they're just, gorgeous artwork. And you can also pick up your free Siege Tales bundle on Amazon Prime now. And if you want this literally for free, get the Amazon Prime trial. I am going to pick it up probably in about a week or two so that then I can pick up actually 2 Prime rewards with the 30-day trial. But yeah, very nice bundle, and it looks like it's very nice in-game as well. But just make sure you cancel that trial before you actually get charged. Anyway guys, thank you very much for watching, I'll catch you next time.